which is money aside, man, do you even genuinely want to do this? And they say no. You shouldn't have gotten to the point in that call, assuming you follow the process right and you got the why now, the consequences, the what's going to help them, the vision, the problem. You covered all that. There's no way that you determine this makes sense. And then you get to a spot on the call where they're like, well, money aside, do you want to do this? It's like, no, you shouldn't have to get a no on that. Otherwise, you messed up discovery. Staying in the close, right? Staying in the close. And that's the part where I see a lot of people struggle with. Now, what typically happens is, man, like you have a certain level of energy that you were maintaining in your introduction and discovery. And it was probably like really good energy. You were excited. You're like, oh man, this is great. And then holy smokes, you get to that end of the call, you drop the price, you drop the product, you drop the service. And guess what? I need to think about it, right? I need to talk to my spouse. Can we reconnect then? Can we do this? Can we do that? Right? All of the stuff. If you're in sales, you've definitely heard. And if you haven't, I don't know what you're selling, right? Because we all get the I need to think about it. So I need to talk to the spouses and I need to do all of this. Every single one of your people is on the phone with you for one reason and one reason only, right? It's to get to their vision, the destination from A to B. That's why we're all talking to these folks. So if you've determined that they're a good fit, I'm here to tell you one of the things that you're going to have to do to help people get out of their own way is pep talk them. I like to go into, you become a coach when you're in the close. You become that motivational speaker for them on that call, that person that instills that trust, that belief. And make no mistake about it, like every single person on this call right now, right, is a public speaker. If you're in sales and you're on phone conversations, you are a public speaker. You better get damn good at speaking, okay? Because whether you're talking to one person or 1,000 people, it don't matter. You're a public speaker. You need to challenge people as a human being. You need to be able to look at them in their eyes, whether you're face-to-face or you're on a Zoom call, and let them know that you need them to do what's right. And let them know, like, dude, I got into sales to help people. So I thought, like, what's the number one way that I can do that? And it's giving people the opportunity to help them change their lives with my product or service. Educate people not as an order taker, but as a coach, as a motivational speaker for them, as a person of authority. Now, how do you become a person of authority, right? We're going to get deep here for a second because this is the real shit right here. Not a lot of people want to talk about, right? In order to have that kind of authority and that level of confidence, you need to master self, okay? So you need to understand, like, where are you at in your journey? Have you overcome a lot of your demons and your bad patterns of thinking and habits, right? Because if you haven't, and you're not true to the person that you're saying yourself to be, right? And if you're not keeping the promises that you make to yourself, I promise you, you're going to have an extremely tough time helping other people get out of their own way if you don't have the ability to get out of your own way. It starts with you. Guys, you have to master self before you can help other people master themselves. That's the reality of it. So the number one way you do that is you keep the promises that you make to yourself. Once you've done the things that you've said you're going to do, you've shown up for yourself. When you say you do something and you actually show up and you do it, man, the level of confidence that you start building and the belief that you have in yourself and the person that you're becoming is a whole nother level of confidence. Now you're starting to trust in yourself. And when you say you're going to do something, you know you are. That self-image and that self-identity is the person that you're trying to attach yourself to. You do that, master self, it's going to be easy. Sales is a piece of cake. It's simple, but simple doesn't always mean easy, but it can be. When you're at a spot in the sale where you know exactly how every single one of your calls is going to go, I'm here to tell you, you made it. When sales is boring and you're not having fun anymore, that's when you know you're on to something. Because you know within a minute or two when you get someone on the call whether you're going to close it or not. Guys, I know within 10 to 15 seconds if I get on a call if I'm going to close it or not. I already know. I've taken over 10,000 calls. I already know. You want to get to that level of certainty where you know your process so well, you know your product and your service so well, you know your avatar of who you're selling so well that if you don't get that person, you start going, got a little bit of data on this one right here. Guess what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to really dig in and qualify this person and see if they're really about this because I'm sensing that there's something off here. I'm not even sure why they took the time to schedule the call. Something seems off. 15, 20 minutes in, it's very possible for you to get off that call and thank them for scheduling the call and 10, for their time. But that I didn't think there's any way we can help solve their problem. Like, I don't know why you booked the call. To be honest with you, I'm not even exactly sure why you're here, because I don't know if what we got going on seems like is the best fit for what you're looking for. But you let me know if I'm mistaken, right? You do a little mini takeaway. And believe it or not, some people, when they have their guard up because they've been sold before, they've been scammed before, they're not giving you the answers to your questions that you're looking for because that guard is up. So when you do a little bit of a mini takeaway, it's like, oh, dang, this person's taking it away from me, but I do really want this. I'm just scared. Oh, now we're on to something, right? Now you can talk about the fear, the time they got scammed, the time that this happened, the time that happened. But guess what? None of that stuff has anything to do with my product or service, dude. That experience has nothing to do with this experience. These are apples and oranges, two different things. Whatever happened there, I'm sorry that it did, dude, but that's not us. That's not me. Here's why. Boom. Confidence, closing, right? Conviction. I like to, when I get to that spot, and of course, assuming I've determined it makes sense to pitch and they're the right person and we want them and they want us, I like to use what I call my 3-pillar close. Robinson, money aside, be genuine with me, dude. Be honest with me. Money aside, is this even something you really want to do? Dude, 100%. Yes. Okay, cool. Now, let me ask you this. Do you believe with this person's help, whoever the influencer, the product or the service is, whoever, with company, whatever, do you believe with this, whatever this person's got going on, that with their mentorship, with their coaching, with their X, Y, or Z, that you can actually get to where you want to go, aka the vision, right? Why they're on the call in the first place. Do you even believe that we can help you get there? Dude, I 100% believe you guys can help me get there. Fantastic. Then the only other question I want to ask you, dude, can you afford the program? Be honest with me. Like, do you have the finances to afford the program? Now, what you're trying to do with that is figure out, does this person have the money and they're just not looking to give it to me? Or is the money a condition and I have to figure out, do I have a payment option, a buy now, pay later option, a firm, Klarna, Afterpay, internal financing, whatever. I'm trying to determine if this person has the money or not. If they don't have the money, the conversation, dude, they said they wanted to do it, money aside. They said that they believe we can help them to get where we want to go. So now we just got to solve for the money. Now, if they said on the first question, which is money aside, man, do you even genuinely want to do this? And they say no, you messed up in discovery. Like, you shouldn't have gotten to the point in that call, assuming you follow the process right and you got the why now, the consequences, the what's going to help them, the vision, the problem. You covered all that. There's no way that you determine this makes sense. And then you get to a spot on the call where they're like, well, money aside, you want to do this. It's like, no, you shouldn't have to get a no on that. Otherwise, you messed up discovery. Okay, so I want to make that clear. The second question, well, hey, dude, let me ask you, with this person's mentorship, with this product's mentorship, with whoever, do you even believe we can get to where we want to go? If the answer to that is no, again, something was missed in the discovery. The value is not there. What's going to help him maybe was missed. Maybe you did a good job in a lot of the other stuff, but you missed what's really going to help them, and you didn't focus on that when you were pitching. Answer number 3 is you're trying to figure out, dude, if this person actually has the funds. Because, like, dude, if they have the funds, you want them to pay with a credit or debit card. You don't want to necessarily get into financing. Why? Well, now you've just lengthened your call, right? Minimum 15 minutes, if not 30 plus minutes, maybe 45 minutes, right? Because you know how long, if anyone on here has done a firm, Klarna, Afterpay, bro, you can run into some situations, right? Where it's like, oh man, their credit's locked. Oh man, they don't have a debit card. Oh man, this. Oh man, identity protection. So much can go wrong. And now, dude, you just added 15 to 45 minutes or an hour extra to your call. And then guess what? You're missing other calls and stuff like that. So always go for the credit or debit card first and determine, do they have the money and they're not looking to give it? Because most people are just scared. It's just the fear. It's not that they don't want to do it. They're just scared of spending the money because it's a big chunk of change for them. Put yourself in their shoes. Have empathy, right? If you can be empathetic and understand, like, dude, I hear you that it's maybe a lot of money for you. I hear you. Not I agree with you. Not I this. Not I hear you that it's a lot of money for you, right? Again, look at these specific word tracks that I'm using here, right? No, oh man, I totally get that, $6,000 is a lot of money. No, man, don't validate that shit. I hear you. as in I'm listening, that it could be a lot of money for you. But man, would it be a lot of money if we can help you do X, Y, and Z? Vision. Go back to the vision. The reason that they're on the call. Now is your time to increase your level of certainty and confidence, right? Because what usually happens as soon as that first objection comes in, right? You see the closer's facial expression change all of a sudden, the body language changes, the confidence drops, right? The tonality is totally different. Man, if you feel that way and you look at your own calls, which I recommend everyone doing on here, go look at the last close that you had when you got that objection. Pay attention to your facial expressions, your tonality, and your body language. Come back here Wednesday, let me know what happened, right? Because I bet you what happens is this. Most people, right? What happens to top closers is they maintain this at a minimum, if not increase 5 to 10%, right? That energy needs to go up. That confidence needs to go up. That conviction needs to go up. So they see you're bought into what you're doing. Because if you ain't bought into what you're doing, they're not going to believe they can get to what they want to go. Okay? People buy you first. You are the entire reason that they're going to buy, guys. Make no mistake. You can have the best product in the world. You can have the best everything in the world, but they're not going to buy it if they don't buy you first. That's the reality of it. A bad sales rep can cost a sale, right? Even though they had the perfect prospect online, even though they had the perfect product, the perfect service, and you knew more than anyone that this can help solve their problem. But because you didn't have your shit dialed in, your confidence, conviction wasn't there. And when you got hit with that objection, automatically you tanked as opposed to going up. That's all noticeable, man. People can see it, especially if you're on a Zoom call, man. Like they see it, right? And then they start doubting even more when they see you doubting in what you're doing, man. You're there to not doubt them. You're there to convince them. But you're only convincing and closing them. Again, going back to it, all the other stuff had to be done right. Because if all that other stuff in the discovery is not done right, this ain't going to work.